Hello and welcome to Cap at Home. Today I am Miss Ivy, and today we are going to complete our project that we started last week, which was designing the beads from scratch with painting different colors of the fall. And today we're going to actually put it on into a beautiful necklace that we have here. And I'm going to show you from scratch we will complete this one as well. And you can see what I did. I added a bead to a button. So today we are completing this is part 2. And welcome to Cap at Home, bead making from scratch with Miss Ivy. Thank you. 1 second. Music off now. Alexa off. Alexa off. Sorry, my music wanted to continue to play, and that's okay. It can play. So I already started with a couple of beads, and we had to make sure that we rolled them. Okay, so they were rolled, and I Mod Podge them or put water with glue to really seal them. So I'm going to walk you through. We're cutting and we're rolling today. Okay, and then you're going to glue and Mod Podge, as well as we're going to put them together into a really pretty design, bracelet or a necklace, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so they'll make really wonderful gifts. So now with everything in place, we already painted. And we're gonna zoom you now to my workstation, okay? And we're gonna just have fun, okay? And putting all of this together. So I'm zooming you in now to my workstation, okay? And if you can see that pretty good, I wanna make sure that you see everything. Okay, right there, okay. So we're getting ready to pull some of these things together. Now, so last week we painted, okay? And we did this particular one. So I sort of cut some things already just to get a few beads prepared for you today so you can see how we're completing this. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so I'm gonna move that to the side. So cutting. When we cut, and hopefully some of you who are joining me from last week, you've already painted your paper with your colors, and now we're going to cut it into a particular way. We're going to cut it in an angle, okay? So we're going to go from this point to an angle, okay? And then I'll show you how to roll them. So we're going to just cut it into an angle, okay? And let's make sure that angle is very nice and neat when we cut it. Okay, all right, so that's one. And so we're just gonna cut the rest of this because we're gonna get ready to roll them. Now when you roll them, the only thing that you'll need will be your glue, your Elmer's glue, okay? We will have the Mod Podge, but also don't forget, if you don't have Mod Podge, you can mix Elmer glue with a little water and then still paint that onto the actual bead. Okay. So we're just cutting into an angle. And this is nice and dry, so it was really good we had that time for it to dry. Now, when you cut different size angles, you can make big ones. If you do a big one, that's going to be a big bead. If you do little ones, you'll have little beads. Okay. Which is wonderful because it gives it a nice balance. So we can do that. Okay, I think we're cut up there now. Okay, so you're just going to basically take any size. Now, if you wanted a pencil size hole, you can use a pencil. Or if you want a marker size, you can use a marker. Okay, so whatever size you use to wrap your paper around, that's the size of your bead. Okay, I think I'm going to use, I like this little paintbrush. So I'm going to use a little paintbrush. I like that angle there. So I'm going to put everything else up, okay? And we're just going to take the big piece, right? And we're going to put the big piece on, okay? So we already cut everything in an angle, okay? Now we're going to just roll this, okay? So make sure first, open up your glue, okay, so you won't have that problem. Yes, you will get glue on your hands, but that's perfectly all right. Don't worry about it. Washes off. Okay, so we're just going to roll this, place it there, and we're just going to roll it with our fingers. Okay, you see how we're rolling? I'm just rolling, rolling, rolling. Now at the tip, I'm going to take my glue. Now I'm going to just apply that to the tip. And I'm going to just continue to roll now because I want now, and you see the glue coming up, which is fine, because now I'm just going to sort of roll it in my hands because I really want it to roll and stick. Okay? So when you roll it like that, and I'm just rolling, still have some of the glue on there, and that's all right. Okay? And I'm going to put that over to the side. But before I do put that to the side, and it will slide off, so it'll just slide off like that. I'm going to take my paintbrush, okay, and today I'm just using Mod Podge, so we can really get to the completion, okay? So I'm just going to take my paintbrush, dip it into my little Mod Podge, and I am going to just paint that onto my little bead so it can dry all together, okay? It also, Mod Podge also gives it a really cool little shine to your bead. And I know you said last week, oh, how are you going to really get all that painted paper into a bead? Well, it's happening. So we're going to slide that off, and I will put that over to my tray. You put it on the side of your tray and let it dry, okay? And we'll do a couple more. Okay, this one's really cool. All right. Nice and big, right? Fold that over, and we just start rolling. Rolling, rolling, roll your paper. Okay, and I'm not a singer, so this is just, I do the artsy stuff. But however, songs are always very nice when you're working with art, okay? Okay, so I just press it down. And I'm going to paint again, a little Mod Podge on it, my solution here, and just paint, and then you can slide it down. Now, since it's 85 degrees here in Michigan, anyway, be a good time to put your some of your things that you want to dry, your painted pieces, Mod Podge pieces. This will be a good time to put it outside and let it dry real quickly. Okay. And we're just painting, okay? And Mod Podge will really help keep, you know, everything else down. And we're just going to slide that now down off of the paintbrush. Okay? And slide it over to, if you have, like I just have a plastic plate here. So this is very easy for me to use. So I like the little plastic plate. Okay. So now... Okay, so now that I showed you how to really roll them, okay, and that's the forming of your bead. So when you have your beads formed and they're Mod Podge, then you have something like this. Here's a bead, and you see the different textures of the bead. This is really cool. You see the different textures of the bead. You see some of the, now keep in mind, remember that was painted with cotton balls. So you're going to get some little cotton balls remnants. So those are your beads right there. Okay. So now I'm going to show you how to take it from the roll, which we did, and that's drying, to actually stringing them onto a piece like this. Okay. Now I did a pretty different kind of wacky little thing. I just glued one of the beads to a button. Okay. So I have a different kind of little design there going on, okay? So, and I added some of my other beads that were already made. And now we're going to do a little closure, okay? All right. So before we do that closure, I want to show you how I string them up, okay? Now, I actually put this onto, I have my little button. This is going to be part of my closure, okay? And I'll show you get to that point. Right now, we're going to move all the other paint brushes over. We don't need them now anymore. And we're going to start stringing, okay, for our little design. Now make sure, because I just have some rope, just some little string, make sure your scissors, you just sort of cut that, okay? Cut the end because it might get a little raveled, okay? And you don't want any kind of raveling going on. So we're gonna move those others over to the side. Okay, and we will continue to string them. So now that I have my button here, and it's on a closure, and I'll show you how to put the button on that one, we are just going to string some beads on, because we now have our fall color beads. And when we have our fall color beads, you see all the pretty colors. So I know last week it looked a little, how on earth are we going to get that painted piece with cotton balls into a necklace? Well, this is how we're doing it. Okay, this is exactly how we're doing it, okay? And I'm just stringing them on. Now I'm going to take one and I am going to glue it to a button for you, okay? So you can see how we have it, okay? And I'm just going to take the Elmer's glue and dab a little bit here, okay? We're just going to glue it onto the button, okay? So you'll set that to the side and let it dry, okay? How about changing your buttons and you add your beads to your buttons, okay? And then, so when you get ready to string everything up, you can actually, you see you have your hole there? You can just string it right on through your hole and you have a nice little design with the button. Okay, so we'll let that dry too. But we're gonna keep stringing so I can show you the completion of this. Okay. So now that we have it all strung up. Okay, so you see it's starting to form into a nice little necklace with all different types of textures going on. Really cool. Okay, so because I just pre-tied this, and I'll show you how to tie your button on, this is part of my closure. So the other part of my closure, I'm going to use another bead. Let's see, right here. Okay, I'll take this bead. And I'm just going to tie, make a nice little loop, okay? And it's going to be big enough to get across to the button, okay? And we're just going to pull it a little bit, leave a little bit, nice little chunk, okay, right there, opening. So, and we're just going to knot that a couple of times, okay? We're just going to go in and tie it a couple more times and knot it. Because we want it to be able to close our closure, hold our closure. Okay, knot that. And I'm going to knot it one more time. One more. Okay. So now we have it nice. Tug on that, okay, we have it knotted. Now, if you don't want that to show, you can always slide one bead up, and this is how I sort of hide my little closure stuff, okay, right there, okay. So now that you have that knotted, okay, guess what? You're ready to slide it over, and you now have your necklace with your closure, okay? All right, so we're gonna move on to, that's one necklace. So we're gonna have that necklace. Soon I'll have my own little jewelry collection here going on. How about that? Okay, so now we're gonna do the other one, okay? So So I'm slide that over. Okay, so putting the button on. Okay, so we're gonna finish this one up. Okay, this one already has everything, all the beads on. It even has the button design bead on. Now we're gonna add this button as a closure, okay? So you wanna make sure that that little closure, you can wet it, okay? Moisten it up a little bit because you wanna be able to get it through the holes right there, okay? One or two of the holes. Sometimes it can be a little tricky, but that's okay. You keep twisting a little bit, slide that through, and it will cooperate with you eventually. So, but I'm gonna cut it in an angle. Always try to cut these things in an angle because you get that nice little tip. Okay, and now I can ease that through pretty easily. I just need to grab a little bit of it and then the rest will come. Oh. We will grab a bigger button. Yeah, one with a bigger hole, I think. That'll work even better. So if you have a lot of buttons, you can get them really pretty easily at Joann Fabrics or the dollar store. And they have all kinds of buttons going on. Okay, and let's see if we can get that, if it make it through. Okay. Ah, we made it. Ah, yes. Okay. So, and I'm just going to tie that. Also, make that knot very strong and tight. Tie it again, strong and tight. Okay. All right, because you don't want it coming loose. Okay. Now, because you have a couple of knots going on there, and I think I'm going to take it through again, through this side. And just twist, because this is a twisty kind of thread. So just twist, slide it through there. That's okay. Patience is a wonderful thing when you're working with art, because the end result is wonderful. Okay. Great, and we got it. Okay. So I'm going to take that and then tie it back this way, because I want it to have a very nice knot. So once you knot it up, okay, you're ready to do the other side for a closure. These make very nice gifts. Don't forget you have a couple of holidays coming up, so or just birthdays, whatever, but they make very nice gifts. Okay, all right, so we have that side, and then just trim your ends so they won't look too. Yeah, nice. Okay, so now we're just gonna knot this other side. Again, loop it. Tie a couple loops there, knot it, tie it again. And if you need help tying it, someone can help you to tie. Okay, but I think you can handle this. Okay, so guess what? Now you have completed a really nice necklace, and you made it from scratch with paper. How about that? All right, so I just want to say all of your jewels that you have, okay, you have a nice collection of jewelry there, and you have your one. Really try some of those with the buttons. I think it just adds another dimension to it, something really sort of cool, very cool, very nice. Okay, and that, okay, so you have all of your backing here with your buttons and your closures. You see all of that. Okay, but then you have a nice collection of your beaded necklace, and these are all from paper and paint and cotton balls. So you designed a really cool, nice little collection here. Well, I just want to say thank you Oh, I think I can move this up now. I just want to say thank you for joining me, Miss Ivy, with Cap at Home for making paper beads. This is really, really fun. So you can do anything with paper and paint and create something very, very nice. Wearable art, okay? This is part of the wearable art collection. So thank you for joining Miss Ivy today, and have a wonderful time designing, making sure you design. This is wonderful. And so just have patience with it, have fun with it, make sure you clean up everything. You have to make sure you tighten up all your tops here. Make sure you take your, especially your Mod Podge brush. Let me just go over a few cleanup. Scissors up, caps on Mod Podge or your glue, okay? And you can actually use a little container and put your glue mixture in. But make sure you have everything ready for cleanup, and keep painting, keep designing. Put all your buttons up so they're not everywhere. So you can actually add all that to your wonderful clothing lines. Okay, so have a really good time designing, and I enjoy having you in my class today. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a good one. And post your designs, please. Thank you.